Dorit Kemsley's estranged husband PK tells her he's single in Rob's sneak peek. Dorit Kemsley is about to take center stage again when the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills airs its second episode. Aside from her broken friendship with Kyle Richards, a lot is going on with the mom of two. Dorit is also experiencing a separation from her husband, Paul PK Kemsley, and we'll see how that plays out this season. She shared on the show that they mutually decided to take time away from their marriage amid ongoing issues. The 47-year-old was hoping the separation would be temporary, but it seems PK has other plans. In a sneak peek for the new episode, the couple meet to discuss their marriage, and Dorit is shocked by PK comments. PK tells Dorit Kemsley he's single in a sneak peek for Rob. A sneak peek of episode 2 posted on Bravo TV features a moment between PK and Dorit, which hints that their separation might be permanent. While at dinner, Dorit realizes that PK is enjoying his time away from her a little too much. The 57-year-old shows Dorit his fresh new wardrobe and declares that he's single PK, much to her surprise. "I don't know if PK realizes that saying single PK is as hurtful as it is," exclaims the Rob star in her confessional. "And I don't really know how he goes from married and committed to separated and single PK in 24 or 48 hours. It feels like, whoa." The duo also discusses PK alcoholism as he tells Dorit he's feeling edgy. "I didn't know how, but I had this disease," he confesses, noting that he's now clear on why they decided to separate. "I'm very clear now on why we made our decision." He continues, sharing just how nasty things had become between them. "You're my best friend, and you're my wife, and we don't speak to each other nicely," he reveals. "If the server came over and we spoke to the server how we speak to each other, we'd be thrown out of this restaurant." PK and Mauricio Umansky have been living the bachelor lifestyle. Now that PK is separated from Dorit, he's been living his best single life with his friend Mauricio Umansky. The duo garnered criticism on social media when videos showed them drinking and dancing at a DJ gig for Summer House star Kyle Cook. PK and a shirtless Mauricio got heat for their immature antics as they parted with other Bravo stars. The two are living similar lives as bachelors now that they are both separated from their wives. The duo was featured in the Rob premiere as PK opened up to Mauricio about his drinking and his troubled marriage to Dorit. "I'm single," PK's shocking confession on Rob. The sprawling Beverly Hills mansion was unusually quiet, a stillness that Dorit Kemsley found unnerving. No laughter from the kids, no hum of distant traffic from the canyon road below, and most conspicuously, no telltale sound of PK humming a tune from one of his favorite classic rock bands. Dorit adjusted the intricate diamond necklace draped over her neck, a small token of reassurance, and took a deep breath as the cameras began rolling for what would undoubtedly become one of the most talked about moments of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 14. Dorit and PK marriage had been on the rocks for months. Rumors of financial woes and a widening emotional gulf had swirled in the tabloids, but the couple had largely brushed it off in public, projecting an image of resilience. That facade was about to crack wide open. The sound of PK loafers against the marble floor echoed down the hallway. Dorit perched herself on one of the high-backed chairs in their opulent living room, her heart pounding. She adjusted her position, flipping her perfectly styled hair over one shoulder as PK entered the room. He looked more disheveled than usual, his tailored blazer slightly wrinkled, his tie loose around his neck. His face bore a somber expression Dorit couldn't quite place, somewhere between resignation and defiance. "Dorit," he began, his British accent more pronounced, perhaps from the weight of what he was about to say. "We need to talk." Dorit's perfectly arched brow rose, her lips parting slightly. "Oh, do we now?" she replied, her tone icy but controlled. "I thought we've been talking plenty, PK. About everything except what matters." PK sighed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "I know things haven't been great between us, love, and I take responsibility for my part in that. But this isn't working." Dorit's heart sank. She had expected tension, perhaps even a confrontation, but PK's tone carried a finality that sent a chill down her spine. "What are you trying to say?" she asked, her voice faltering ever so slightly. PK hesitated, as if searching for the right words. Then he met her gaze and delivered the bombshell. "I'm single, Dorit. I've been feeling single for a long time now." The words hung in the air like a grenade, the pin pulled, the explosion imminent. "Excuse me," Dorit said, her voice rising. "What the bloody hell do you mean, you're single? You're married, PK. To me. Or have you conveniently forgotten that?" PK raised his hands defensively. "I haven't forgotten, Dorit. But let's be honest, we've been living separate lives under the same roof. The love, the connection, it's not there anymore. At least not for me." Dorit shot up from her chair, her stiletto heels clicking against the marble floor. "How dare you? After everything we've been through, everything I've stood by you for, you sit there and tell me you're single. Are you seeing someone else?" PK's eyes widened and he shook his head vehemently. No, it's not like that. I'm not seeing anyone. I'm just saying, I feel alone in this marriage, Dorit. And I think you do too, if you're honest with yourself. Dorit crossed her arms, her jaw tightening. You don't get to rewrite history, PK. Yes, we've had our challenges. Every couple does. But you don't just throw in the towel and declare yourself single because things get tough. That's not how marriage works. PK sighed again, a deep, weary sound. I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm being honest with you. Maybe for the first time in a long time. I don't want to hurt you, Dorit, but I can keep pretending that everything's fine when it's not. Tears welled up in Dorit's eyes, but she blinked them away, refusing to let them fall. She had built a career and a life on her poise and composure, and she wasn't about to let PK take that from her. So what now? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. You just walk away. Leave me to pick up the pieces while you go live your single life. I don't want to hurt you, PK repeated, his voice softer now. But I think we both need to figure out what we really want. Maybe some time apart would help. Dorit let out a bitter laugh. Time apart? Is that your solution, PK? To run away from your problems instead of facing them? It's not running away, he insisted. It's giving us both space to breathe, to think about what's best for us and for the kids. Dorit's expression hardened at the mention of their children. Don't you dare use the kids as an excuse for your cowardice. Everything I've done, every sacrifice I've made has been for this family. And now you're telling me it's not enough. PK looked away, unable to meet her piercing gaze. It's not about enough, Dorit. It's about what's right. For both of us. The silence that followed was deafening. Dorit stared at PK, her mind racing. This was not the man she had married, the man who had promised to love and cherish her through better or worse. The man who had stood by her side through lawsuits, robberies, and public scrutiny. I need you to leave, Dorit said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. PK had snapped up, surprise flickering across his face. Dorit. No, she interrupted, her tone firm. I can't do this right now. I need you to leave. Go be single if that's what you want. But don't expect me to sit here and wait for you to figure out what you want. I deserve better than that. PK opened his mouth as if to protest, then closed it again. He nodded slowly, his shoulders slumping as he turned and walked out of the room. As the door closed behind him, Dorit sank back into her chair, her hands trembling. The cameras continued to roll, capturing every raw, unfiltered emotion. She knew this moment would make headlines, would be dissected and debated by fans and critics alike. But for now, none of that mattered. All that mattered was that she had stood her ground, and as painful as it was, she knew she would emerge from this stronger. After all, if there was one thing Dorit Kemsley knew how to do, it was survive.